Right. You know. So that the pressure is now, not then.
Yeah. Now, what is the difference that you do a lot of times when you're in a ring? Because unfortunately, you know, the other companies have painted a picture where it's all about the diva's looks. Now, you take somebody like yourself who has the both the looks and the ability. But what is it that you do that get people to just to focus more on your ability and not so much just your looks and looking at you as eye candy?
Vocability. The biggest thing that will make or break you in this business is the way that you can perceive your character without being typical. It's your voice. I had a big problem, and it's funny, I had a big problem with speaking in front of people my entire life. Not until I started professional wrestling was I able to be vocal. I'm a very friendly person. If you are my friend, you know that, you know, I'll talk to you about anything, and I'm a good listener, but I can't project myself. I'm more of a writer. I can write a letter for days, but I can't, you know, express that vocally. So now what I do, what a lot of people don't do, and it's kind of old school, I talk to the fans a lot. Or I'll talk out loud, or I'll make an expression that other women won't do. A lot of times, especially with this generation of wrestling, we were, not me in particular, because I was, you know, trained by old school wrestlers, one namely Amy Lee. She is very vocal in the ring. If you ever seen Amy Lee, you already know what time it is with Amy Lee. She doesn't play. But with women in this generation, we were not taught vocability. We were taught more of the flashiness, the cuteness, and, you know, projecting ourselves physically. We weren't taught how to be vocal. If you look at any female wrestler in this generation right now coming up, not the ones that are already established, the ones coming up, they can't cut a promo to save their life. They can't get on a microphone and say a couple words without sounding either dumb or they can't get the words out. But I've been able over time, because when I first started I couldn't do it, but over time I'm able now to project myself in a way that the fans will remember. So that sets me apart. Plus, I do a lot of manly moves. I don't do moves that normal girls do. For instance, my clothesline resembles JBL's clothesline from hell, almost exactly. Because I used to love watching him. I can watch YouTube all day and watch him do that move over and over and over again. But I also like Triple H and I like Ravishing Rick Rude, Kurt Hennig. All their promos, they had this arrogant tone of voice. Their body language was arrogant. Their moves were arrogant. So I take all of those influences and I put it into myself. You don't see that a lot with women. In the WWE, you have women that will do that, but they can't do that because they're watered down. It's a certain formula they have. The best thing about the independents is that there is no formula but your own. You make your break yourself in the independent. So for me, when you come to my shows, you'll remember moves, but more than anything, you'll remember my voice.
Wow. Yeah. Now, what type of advice would you have to any up and coming female or even say males that's trying to get into this business?
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the stereotypical things about professional wrestling. Do not be afraid. Come in with a clear head, eyes open, mouth shut, ears open, mouth shut. Learn the tradition of the business. It is not about the move. A lot of times these guys and girls come in and the first thing they want to do is a damn power bomb. They want to choke slam somebody. You want to fall off the top rope, but you cannot do a simple bump. If you cannot get your fundamentals right, you can choke slam somebody all day long. You will look stupid. When you come into this business, first appreciate the business. Appreciate what everyone else has done for you to become a professional wrestler. Because back when my husband started, it wasn't as open as it is now. Guys could get their nose broken, their arms and legs, limbs broken in half so they wouldn't come back, to be discouraged to come back. Yeah. Now it's a wide open circuit now. So when you come in, just study what this is about. It is not about the glowing jacket, the ice cream bars, or anything else, okay?
Right.
It is about when you look at CM Punk and you look at Chris Jericho, all that glitz and glamour they had before and all the talking they do, when they put it aside and they start wrestling, all that flashy stuff is out the door. And they're wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It's an evolution. Remember that this is a physical sport. It's not just about entertainment. Stop thinking that professional wrestling is sports entertainment. WWE is sports entertainment. Professional wrestling is a sport. Once you separate the two, then you'll know what it is for you. If you're more on the entertainment side, then maybe you should be a manager or a valet. If you want to be an athlete, you want to be good at what you do and respected for what you do, you're going to be the athlete. So just, what you see on TV, forget about TV. Those guys practice all day long for those 5 minutes in that ring, that 10 minutes in that ring. The girls practice all day long for that 1 minute and 45-second match they have. But they practice. It's a process. Don't look at television. Look at your trainer and respect what they're telling you. Practice your craft. Go home. Look at YouTube. Don't look at Raw from 1999 and start reminiscing about when you saw this and what you were doing. You look at it. If you're going to look back at that, look back at Triple H and The Rock. Look at Stone Cold and Bret Hart. If you're going to look at anything from back then, go to WCW. Look at the cruiserweight. That 99, 98, 97 cruiserweight division was the best thing in professional wrestling.
Oh, certainly.
I love all the things that WWE did, but the cruiserweight were the workhorses that kept professional wrestling going in those 3 years. On top of Shawn Michaels and Triple H and all those other guys. Look at those things. Forget about the storylines. Forget about the catchphrases. Practice and look at your craft. Leave the grits and blame right home.
Yeah, but certainly outside the gentleman, I believe his name was Louis Wright.
Yes.
Yeah, him and Sam Moon from WXWC4. Those two have spoken highly of you. So certainly we know that
awesome.
Yes, I remember when he was on a former show I had Perfect Flex, and I mentioned to him that you and I were friends. He was like, "She's awesome, such a great worker, and definitely has a future in this business." And I want to ask you one last question real quick. Japan has a great work of art for wrestling. They have a great respect for the business. I always tell everybody, America has a lot of great entertainment, but when it comes to Japan, two things you're going to get over there is wrestling and baseball. Have you ever thought about going over there?
I would love to go over there. That's my next goal. My first international trip is the Bahamas with NWA Ring Warriors. Actually, next Wednesday, I'll be there.
Oh, wow.
So,
congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much. I will be down there with them wrestling one of their great talents, Santana Garrett. She's an awesome worker. If you have a chance to look her up on YouTube, she has some very good stuff. Check her out. And a very beautiful lady. But I definitely want to get to Japan. I'm not rushing anything, though. I think my work is good, but it, can progress into something better. And when the time comes, I will be in Japan. I definitely will be in Japan. I will work my butt off to get there. And I just feel like Japan has an incredible respect for women's wrestling. And the thing that I love about Japan is everything I just said the previous question. They look at the athleticism. It's not glitz and glamour. The only thing that's glittery is the entrances. But when it's time to work, it's time to work. And you're going to work. So that's definitely a place where I want to be. If there's anything that I can tell young guys and young ladies and young guys, look at Japanese wrestling, especially Joshi for the women. Look not so much at the moves, but the seriousness of what they're doing. They are serious. They're not playing around out there. So if that's any indication of what respect is in this business, Japan is right there with it. And I will be there one day.
Certainly, I noticed, I follow and talk to a lot of female wrestlers on Twitter and Facebook. And a lot of times they always indicate that they're watching a lot of Joshi wrestling. And that's where you can tell they have a lot of respect for this business. And, growing up as a fan and somebody who's an analyst of the business, I like to see people respect it. I hate when I walk in places and somebody tell me it's fake. That's the worst thing anybody can tell me, because you guys go out there and do so much and put your bodies on the line, all for our entertainment. So for somebody to sit up there and call it fake is just an absolute spit in the face. So it's something,
it is definitely.
That annoys
I like when people come up to me and say that, and then I hit them and I ask them, is that fake? And they're like, ow, what would you do that for? Well, I want you to say that fake because that's what we do in wrestling.
The next time when you ever wrestle in Maryland, I'm going to bring somebody who said that. And I'm going to just tell them, I'm not even going to tell them you're a wrestler. If it's before the match, I'm going to say, just go ahead and tell a wrestler to fake and see what happens. I'm just like, now you're talking about a good prank.
Yeah, I'm just going to hit them. I'm not going to hit them too hard because they're somebody you know, but I'll hit them. And I want you to tell me it's fake then. What I would like to do, I would like to bring somebody in the ring and body slam them and then tell me, is that fake? What we do is a theatrical sport. That's what it is. That's the story. It has, it's secret. It's not a secret, but I won't, go out there and put it out there. But we have a formula of what we do. But once the match begins, we have to have a beginning and an ending. What we do in the middle is what we do. There's nothing fake about it. The next day, when you're done, that might hurt for the moment, but I want you to tell me if it's fake the next day. Email me after I powerbomb you or clothesline you, and then you tell me how you feel, and tell me then if it's fake.
Exactly. Lawrence Taylor said after WrestleMania 11, he saw Bam Bam Bigelow falling down on him. He said, I knew wrestling wasn't fake when I saw 300 pounds coming on me while I was laying on the ground.
Right. There's no joke.
Well, Mr. Vaughn, Mr. Vaughn, we'd like to thank you for stepping into the wrestling realm. It's truly
thank you for having me step in.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you. It was definitely a pleasure for me as well.
So tell people where you can find you.
Well, again, I will be in the Bahamas, Nassau, the beautiful Nassau, Bahamas next week, wrestling and debuting for the NWA Ring Warriors internationally against Santana Garrett. After that, I'll be in Havelock, North Carolina for Shockwave Wrestling Entertainment. June 23rd, I will be in PCW, which is Powerful Wrestling, Ellendale, Delaware, wrestling Jessie Bell Smothers. She's another great worker who's been out for a long time. Does not get her just due. She's an amazing worker. I will be defending my PWF LOCO Diamond Doll Women's Championship against the former champion, Desiree Clash, another great lady, in Pensacola, New Jersey at my home school, PWF LOCO Arena. And then I'll be debuting in Florida for the NWA Ring Warriors against former FPW diva Sonia Too Young is her name. I think WWE made a big mistake by letting her go. She was the next Yo Kim. I'll put it to you that way. So if you want to definitely check me out in Florida, check me out in Florida. I will be down there July 14th. July. August 4th, I'll be in Fairless Hills, PA, wrestling again Desiree Clash. Also on June 30th, I'll be at New Moon Rising, which is Pretty Boy Larry Sharp wrestling organization. If you know anything about Larry Sharp, look him up on YouTube, and he's a legend in our business. So I'll be up and down the Eastern Seaboard a lot between Pennsylvania and New Jersey, New York in September, back in Memphis in September to defend my L.O.I.S Wrestling Women's Championship. Just check me out. I'll be all over down the Eastern Seaboard, and hopefully I can make it out to the West Coast and eventually to Japan.
Well, make sure you send me a copy of that. I will definitely post it in Main Event, bdub.blogspot.com, and make sure I post it so that everyone and all the fans can find you. Everybody, get on your feet and pay homage to the L.O.I.S champion and the Diamond Doll champion, Miss Sienna Duvall.